Welcome back. Health scares among illegals surging the border continue to grow. A few weeks ago, the first case of swine flu was diagnosed inside a Texas detention center. And now, inside sources reveal another dangerous disease is rearing its ugly head. Todd Starnes, author of God Bless America, joins us right now with exclusive information. He joins us from Dallas. Good morning to you, Todd.
Steve, good morning. And my sources are telling me that we can now report there are 3 confirmed cases of tuberculosis at a facility in the Austin, Texas area. I also have sources at a refugee camp and at Lackland Air Force Base. And Steve, the nurses there, some of my sources inside that facility say that it is far worse there. They're telling me at least 4 teenagers are infected with tuberculosis, and that number may in fact be growing.
Well, that would explain why they don't, for instance, why they wouldn't let that congressman in to view the facility in his state, why cameras are not allowed in. One of the big questions, though, Todd, is if there's tuberculosis, and that's nothing to mess around with, whether or not it's whether or not it is drug-resistant TB. That's critical.
Well, it certainly is, and many doctors fear that, in fact, may be the case. Dr. Mark Siegel tells me that the strain of tuberculosis that is common in Central America is, in fact, that drug-resistant kind. But the big issue here, Steve, is this shroud of secrecy that's enveloped these facilities. HHS refuses to really go in depth and tell us exactly what is happening. I can tell you right now that many of my sources say they've been threatened. They say that if they speak out, if they speak to the media, they can lose their jobs. They also face arrest. And this facility, which some are describing as a summer camp, at least that's the government officials, I don't know many summer camps that are guarded by security forces holding AR-15s. Do you, Steve?
No, and if there was TB at a summer camp, they'd probably close that camp down. Todd, we did get a statement from the Health and Human Services Department of our federal government last night, and they said if responding to your reportage, if children are determined to have any communicable disease or have been exposed to a communicable disease, they are placed in a program or facility that has the capacity to quarantine. What do you make of that?
Well, again, the sources that I have, and these are very well-placed sources, tell me that the big concern is that these children are not being isolated, and in fact, other kids are being at risk. Look, they told us last week that there were only 119 cases of lice reported among the 7,000 young people that have been through the facilities at Lackland and Fort Sill. And they also told us that there were no reports of scabies. So they're having us believe that pretty much there are no major health problems at these facilities when in fact we have a number of sources telling us otherwise.
You make it sound like a great big emergency room.
Well, absolutely right, Steve. And many of the people I talk to here in Texas firmly believe this is nothing more than a government-sanctioned invasion of our country, Steve.
All right. Todd Starnes reporting live this morning from Dallas with news that at least 3 of the kids in one of those camps has TB. Todd, thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.